Hello everyone, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is True Evil 64, and recently I uploaded a video showing off my GTA collection, so I thought it would be fun to do a console collection, all of the consoles that I actually still own. We're going to start off with a special mention, being the Super Nintendo emulator, which is running on my laptop. I don't actually have a Super Nintendo anymore. It was the first console I ever played. But I do have the emulator on laptop, playing the very first game that I ever played. Yes, this was the first game that I ever played. This is where it all started for me. Back in 1993 or something when I played this game for the first time. Absolutely love this game. There's a special place in my heart, this game does. The first game I ever played, the first game I ever beat, nearly 30 years ago. Moving on, we have the Game Boy Color. The original Game Boy was released in 1989, which makes it 2 years older than me. But I don't have the original Game Boy anymore, but I do have the Game Boy Color. And before you ask, yes, it does work. Ah, yes, good old Pokemon Generation 1. Back in the 90s when I was a kid, you had to play Pokemon. Otherwise, the kids at school wouldn't speak to you. It was like a sin to not play Pokemon in those days. Next console on the list. Now we get into the good ones. This is the Nintendo 64. This is my favourite console of all time. And it's the reason why I have 64 in my name. Look at that for a controller. Beautiful trident controller with a trigger on the bottom. Along with quite possibly my favourite game of all time. So much fun playing this game. And just a few more recognisable N64 games. Of course, released in 1996, I still have it. One of the most classic games ever made, released in 1997. And again, one of the best games of all time, Ocarina of Time, released in 1998. Still own them all over 20 years later. Next on the list, the PlayStation 2. Well, the PlayStation 2 Slim to be exact, because I don't have the original model of the PS2 anymore. Complete with controller. It's a bit dusty, it's been sat in a bloody box for fuck knows how many years. And yes, all of these consoles actually do still work. Despite the fact that I've had them for like decades. The good old PS2 Slim. I've had this since I was about 14 years old, so about 19 years-ish. Next on the list, the good old Nintendo GameCube. This is the GameCube controller right here. It's quite a nice controller, to be fair. It feels nice in your hands. And of course, the GameCube is special because it uses really small discs. Just as an example here, we've got Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. And there you go. Look at the size of those discs. Plop that in. Good to go. The plate on the top has kind of fell off, but I've had this thing for about 15 years. 15, 16 years. quite late. I was quite late to the GameCube ride. I only got one to play some of the games that I missed out on. Most notable, The Legend of Zelda, of course. I'm a big Zelda fan, as some of you may or may not know. But that's the Nintendo GameCube, first released in 2001, and I still have one. Next on the list, the original Xbox, or the Xbox Zero as I like to call it. There is the Xbox Slim controller. This is not the original controller that first came with the console. The original Xbox controller was like fucking huge. It was like holding a boulder in between your hands. But this is the small controller. And there is the front of the console. Don't know what those switches are for at the bottom there. I think the plate kind of fell off. I've had this thing for about 20 years. And one of my all-time favourite games for the Xbox, Mercenaries Playground of Destruction. Still got an old fucking label on there. Amazing game this. I used to love this game. Still do, actually. Some of you might recognise that this game was played by The Professional. Well, I happen to have this game as well. So there you go. That's the original Xbox. Ah, yes. The original PlayStation 3. The console that I first used to play GTA 5 online. Amazing. Look, play GTA that much, the fucking analog on my controller's worn off. But yeah, this is the original model of the PS3. Big, massive beast. I can't remember the memory size of it. I think it's like the 40 gig model. I'm pretty sure it's the 40 gig one I have. Not too sure, and I can't be asked to check. But yeah, that's the PS3 original model, not the PS3 Slim, with a broken, worn down controller. I think I've actually got two controllers, but I couldn't find the other one, so I had to go with this one. I've had this thing since like 2008, 2009. So it's knocking on about 14, 15 years old. And it still works. Moving on. This is the 3DS. Don't have the original DS anymore, but I still do have the 3DS. You can see there. Nintendo 3DS. Along with a copy of Pokemon Ultra Sun. Amazing. But yeah, 3DS in my traditional pink, of course. There we go. Moving on. Ah, yes. The ever so famous, beloved PS4, complete with a rose gold controller. The very same machine that I used to play GTA on for all these years. It's a bit dusty. It's been sitting under my bed for, well, ever since I got my PS5. I barely touch the PS4 anymore. But yeah, the PS4 needs no introduction. Everyone knows what the PS4 is. Got myself some little covers for it from Amazon for about £5. Get myself a nice custom made pink PS4 along with a rose gold controller. Not too many left now. This is the Switch Lite. Yes, I happen to own a Switch. Couldn't find a pink one at the time, so I had to settle with a blue one. But it's fine. Of course, I've got like the N64 games on it. I've got Zelda, I've got Super Nintendo games, and I've got Pokemon games. Not a whole lot of games for the Switch that I have. I only really got the Switch to catch up with like Pokemon and Zelda, because I'm a huge Pokemon and Zelda fan. Not played Tears of the Kingdom yet because I wasn't a fan of Breath of the Wild. I think Breath of the Wild sucks. But yeah. Oh, I actually have Fire Emblem installed. I actually like the Fire Emblem games too. Tactical turn-based RPGs. I'm not just a washed-up GTA player like everyone thinks I am. I've been playing games for the last nearly 30 years, so I have some variety. Ah, yes. This one needs no introduction. This is my PlayStation 5. In beautiful pink, of course. With the matching Nova Pink controller. Isn't it a beauty? But the last console might come as a surprise to some people that I actually have one of these. The last console is the Xbox Series S. Not the X, the S. No, I will not be playing GTA on Xbox before anybody asks. I got the Xbox just because of it. It has a good amount of classic games that you can play on it. Well, to be fair, my brother gave me it because he didn't play on it anymore. So now I have it. The small Xbox Series S. I only had this console a few months ago this year. I barely play it, to be fair, but I probably play it more than what my brother ever did. And that is my entire console collection, going back from the Nintendo 64 released in 1996, all the way up until the PS5 and the Xbox Series released in 2020, 2021. Thanks for watching.